Quantum House Industry Analysis, Legal Services in Australia. Definition. Industry firms primarily offer legal advice, representation, and document preparation. These services are typically provided by solicitors, barristers, and legal aid offices. The industry also encompasses alternative dispute resolution, conveyancing, and intellectual property services. However, it excludes services provided by in-house legal teams. Performance highlights. The mix of commercial legal services requested is changing. Demand for legal services has largely resisted economic challenges over the past 5 years. However, client needs have shifted due to fluctuating business confidence and inflation, leading providers to focus on insolvency, restructuring, and M&A activities, which require specialized expertise and sustained profit margins. The "if you can't beat them, join them" approach. Many large accounting and professional services firms now offer legal services, leveraging their existing corporate client networks. This trend threatens mid- and top-tier law firms, prompting some to diversify into non-legal services like consulting to remain competitive. Larger firms are looking outward for growth opportunities. Large Australian law firms have expanded globally, creating revenue streams independent of domestic conditions and enhancing their reputations. Smaller firms are becoming more popular with cost-conscious companies due to their lower rates and personalized attention. Independent trends are affecting family, criminal, and other areas of law. The COVID-19 pandemic saw a spike in family law cases, while criminal activity declined except for complex offenses involving illicit drugs, weapons, and explosives, increasing the demand for expert legal advice. Environmental law has also grown, with many top-tier firms offering comprehensive advice on related disputes. Easing COVID-19 restrictions have seen a return to the status quo for injury and compensation. Workplace and car accidents dropped significantly during the pandemic due to remote work, reducing the need for personal injury and compensation specialists. With the easing of restrictions, injury rates and compensation claims have returned to pre-pandemic levels. Industry outlook, interest rate hikes, and the Australian housing market. Interest rate hikes due to inflationary pressures are likely to cool the Australian housing market, affecting property operators and developers, key clients for legal service providers. This could reduce property sales and development, impacting demand from this sector. Competition handling strategies among law firms. Interest rate hikes amid inflationary pressures may dampen the Australian housing market, impacting property operators and developers, key clients for legal services, and potentially reducing property sales and development, thereby affecting demand in this sector. Opportunities in globalization for domestic firms. Australian legal firms have expanded into overseas markets, especially in the Asia-Pacific region, leveraging free trade agreements. Government reviews of FTAs offer opportunities to enhance both domestic and international business, enabling firms to provide various services such as intellectual property, advisory, and risk management. Embracing efficiencies and automation. Legal services, traditionally immune to automation, now have opportunities for efficiency improvements. Advancements in smart contracts, customer service bots, and automated contract reviews can enhance profit margins. Machine learning applications can extend beyond efficiency gains to aid in legal research and argument formulation. Similarly, the mid-range restaurant segment will put pressure on premium dining establishments. Industry revenue. The landscape of commercial legal services is evolving. Despite economic challenges that have affected other industries, there's been a shift in the types of legal services clients are seeking over the past 5 years. Products and services. Rocky operating conditions for businesses have boosted the need for core commercial law services. Commercial law services cover legal advice for businesses, especially in complex corporate transactions like mergers, acquisitions, IPOs, financing, and taxation, often with high fees. The effects of COVID-19 and inflation on these services have been mixed. Essential service demand remains strong, but some clients have cut extra spending, choosing more conservative approaches. Certain firms have experienced increased M&A activity. COVID-19 lockdowns reduced the need for personal legal and industrial relations services. Personal legal and industrial relations, IR, services encompass various legal matters like wills, estates, personal injury, workers' compensation, and family law, involving unions and large corporations. The Fair Work Act 2009 governs aspects like bargaining and industrial action. COVID-19 lockdowns reduced work and vehicle accidents, impacting workplace compensation and personal injury claims, key aspects of this sector. Interest rate hikes have hit property law service revenue streams. Property law services cover property conveyancing and related legal matters. While property owners and investors are major clients, specialists also aid property developers with financing advice. Historically, Australia's strong property market supported this sector. However, rising interest rates due to inflation have slowed housing activity, decreasing property law earnings over the past 5 years. High rates of R&D are requiring intellectual property law services. IP law services protect patents, copyrights, and trademarks, covering intangibles like ideas and inventions. Clients from various sectors, including pharmaceuticals and technology, use these services. Higher R&D spending in pharmaceuticals during COVID-19 increased demand for IP law. However, shifts in business confidence limited some clients' expansion and investment in intellectual property. Funding for community legal services usually increases in response to challenging macroeconomic events. Legal aid and community legal centers provide free legal assistance to disadvantaged individuals, funded mainly by state and federal governments. Funding increased after the 2019-20 bushfires and COVID-19 outbreaks to aid communities during times of heightened government involvement. Lower crime rates have subdued the need for criminal legal services. Criminal legal services involve representing individuals facing criminal charges, often handled by barristers for complex cases. Reduced criminal activity, particularly after COVID-19, has impacted barristers' incomes. Lawyers also provide administrative, constitutional, and other law services. Legal firms provide administrative, constitutional, and other services like environmental and human rights law, primarily for corporate clients dealing with government entities. Some larger firms also offer advisory services to government departments, expanding this sector in recent times. Key external drivers. These include number of housing transfers, demand from finance, business confidence index, number of divorces, level of criminal activity. Key success factors. 1. Overcome volatility, effectively manage risk. 2. Handle concentration, develop a strong reputation. 3. Overcome barriers to entry, provide development programs for personnel. 4. Compete with substitutes, secure a highly skilled workforce. 5. Manage buyer and supplier power, understand government policies and their implications. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions regarding this presentation, please contact us.